Chat, we're back. And we're doing more news. It's going to be a short one this week. Like I said, not a lot going on. We've got a few things happening though. So stay tuned. So we got a few larger news stories, a handful of smaller ones, and then some chat picks, but not a lot overall. We shall start with AI in PlayStation. This is Chris Scullion, VGC. All right, Sony lays out its AI plan for PlayStation. We believe AI will unleash the creativity of our studios. During Sony's presentation for its latest financial results, Sony Interactive Entertainment President and CEO Hideaki, I don't remember how to pronounce his name, Nishino, explained how he believes AI will strengthen the company's efforts in game creation. At PlayStation, our goal is always to be the best place to play and the best place to publish. We see AI as a powerful tool to help us in this mission. This will mean a gaming experience like never before. More immersion, more adventures, and a fresh way to enjoy their favorite characters. For our publishers, it will mean an even more efficient production environment and a better discovery to ensure their games reach the right audiences. Now, this is the part that worries us. AI will lower the barriers to creation and accelerate development cycles. There might be another story on here where people are trying to lower the barrier of entry for creation. That sounds suspicious. Sony expects a meaningful increase in the volume and diversity of the content available to the players. PlayStation Studios teams are already using AI tools for automating certain processes. Within our studios, game developers are automating repetitive workloads, improving software engineering productivity, and accelerating areas like quality assurance, 3D modeling, and animations through AI-powered tools. They created a tool that they call Mockingbird that quickly animates 3D facial animations based on the performance capture. Importantly, we're not replacing human performers, but rather optimizing how we process the data from these live captures. Animation work that would have taken hours can now be completed in a fraction of a second. See, this specific example, this one small example, I don't know exactly how that process works, but from what it says here, it might be fine. This might be a fine way to do this. These practical applications allow our teams to spend less time on manual, high-effort tasks and to instead reinvest their time in building richer worlds and gameplay for our players. So there's a lot of sus, a whole lot of sus, and just a little sprinkling of maybe this is okay, but a whole mountain load of sus in here. We will have to look in the future if there's any AI disclaimers on any Sony/PlayStation products coming out, and hopefully these hopefully they're upfront with their usages and exactly how they're using it. Next up, the devs for Outbound. This is Chris Scullion, VGC. Apparently, we're asking people to take down their bad reviews. Interesting. Outbound developer apologizes for asking players to remove negative review from remove negative review from Steam. Outbound is a cozy exploration game developed by Squareglade Games, where players drive an empty camper van around an open world and attempt to turn it into a home by collecting materials to decorate it and using technology to power it. I don't think I've ever seen anything about this game. Let's check this out real fast. See a little bit what this looks like. Interesting. Oh, it's like just right. I thought it'd be a little bit more cartoony. It's like they're just humans. This looks weird. Like this right here, just the walking around, this looks weird. So basically the camper is the land claim block and you're building around it. It seems. Okay, I get it. Game was released on May 11th on PC and Xbox on Game Pass. Coming to PlayStation, Switch, and Switch 2 on May 14th, which was yesterday. The Steam version has been gathering some controversy. As initially screenshotted and shared on the Steam Reddit page as spotted by Kotaku, one player wrote a negative review of the game calling its mechanics incredibly shallow, saying it's definitely not worth the asking price. What is the asking price? It's regular price $25 on sale for $22.50 right now. Okay. Studio said it understood the game wasn't to the player's liking and offered no hard feelings, but added, feel free to send a support request to Steam support to get a full refund on your purchase. If you do so, We would appreciate if you would update or remove your negative review. Thanks a lot. Crazy. They said, hey, you don't like it? Cool. Ask for a refund, but then also take away the review. Wow. This has not gone down well with some players who have suggested that developers shouldn't be trying to give their game a higher percentage of positive reviews by asking players to change or remove negative ones. It has also seemingly had a Streisand effect to some extent. While the game's Steam reviews are still marked as mostly positive, a number of recent negative reviews have made the reference to the incident, suggesting it was at least partly responsible for their own rating. Oh. First and foremost, we truly apologize for how our recent replies have come across. We understand that our communication has felt wrong to many of you, and for that we are genuinely sorry. To be completely honest, the 24 hours since the launch have been incredibly overwhelming. While we started with a lot of excitement, the reality of a launch brings a lot of pressure and intense emotions. Looking back, we realized that the way we communicated was not the right approach, and we didn't handle the situation with the care it deserves. We also want to be clear, we will no longer be asking anyone to change their negative reviews, and we have also deleted our previous comments. We respect your honesty and appreciate the feedback, even when it's tough to hear. It helps us make the game better. Let's see where it's going right now. Let's see where it's at right now. Outbound. Currently, mostly positive still. I would say recent is still mostly positive, going by the first couple pages. There are some negatives in there, but there's a lot more positives. Okay. 764 reviews. Cool. So that's them. Hopefully other people learn from that. Speaking of Subnautica, I've got an update on their sales. Says Jordan Miller VGC. Subnautica 2 sells 2 million in 12 hours with over 600,000 concurrent players. That's an insane amount for a game like this. The sequel to the massively popular survival game entered early access on Thursday, just over 1 hour after the game's release. The Subnautica Twitter account posted an announcement saying that the game had sold over 1 million copies. Just hours later, developer Unknown Worlds announced that the game had sold over 2 million copies in just 12 hours as the game topped charts around the world. The game managed a peak Steam concurrent player count of 467,582 players. This makes Subnautica 2 the game with the 29th highest concurrent player count in Steam history. Wow. They estimated across all platforms at 650,000. Let's see what else we got. And they talk about the lawsuit and everything again. So hopefully this hits the metric that they were looking for. I'm not sure I don't know if they said what the metric is. They just need to do well. The bonus is 250 million. If they did 2 million copies and game is like $30, that's $30, 60 million. That's a lot. So GG's, hopefully they keep going. Hopefully it keeps skyrocketing. Next up, Party Animals has had an oopsie, as many of us have already seen. This is Matt Wales, Eurogamer. It's a little bit of an update. Quote, we are not trying to dismiss handmade work or disrespect creators. What we truly care about is the idea, the expression, and the final work. What? Crazy. Recreate Games has apologized after an AI-focused video contest for a popular casual brawler. Party Animals drew significant community criticism, insisting it was not trying to dismiss handmade work or disrespect creators. Yeah. Okay. Early this week, they announced what it called the Party Animals first AI video contest. Prize pool of $75,000. That's a lot of money. $75,000 is a lot of money for someone to maybe win by writing 4 sentences in ChatGPT or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you basically they're saying you write the best prompt and we give you $75,000. It's a lot of money to do literally nothing. Yes. You know how much better art would have been entered had it been just like a regular art challenge? Like just a regular creator challenge? They would have had such better, just higher quality submissions. But and not that they didn't go through with it obviously yet. But it would have been cool to see. It was seeking submissions of short films, drama series, music videos, animations, and more. That's very like all-encompassing, you know? Stipulating all entries must be under 5 minutes and that AI generated content must be the core creative tool. Even worse. In the past, ideas like these could only exist in your head. Now with AI, they finally have a chance to become reality. Get the fuck out of here. God. However, even a cursory look at the 3.7 thousand responses Recreate social media announcement generated is enough to see the Party Animals community was less than enthused. The fact that you have $75,000 to give away and you're going to give it to someone who uses Gen AI instead of an actual artist is actually mind-boggling, wrote somebody. What the hell? Another commenter was quick to highlight the irony that Recreate's competition terms and conditions include a line that says, any plagiarism or unauthorized use of others' work will result in disqualification. Similarly, another response noted the irony of posting animal facts for environmental awareness and then hosting a contest that utilizes a technology actively harming it. 100%. 100%. A few commentators offered their support, however, with one insisting AI art is art and it's important and helping a lot of people. No. Just no. Sit down. Sit down and shut up. Ultimately, though, the overwhelmingly negative community response has been significant enough that Recreate has now issued an apology, saying, we're sorry for upsetting players with this event. We're also sorry we didn't communicate with everyone clearly enough before the event started. Interesting. Insisted its original goal with the contest was to lower the barrier to creation. This is like the exact opposite of like the whole... It added, was inspired by previous competitions where it had seen players with great ideas and scripts who couldn't fully bring them to life because they weren't familiar with the tools like editing, modeling, or animation software. We hoped AI would be a more accessible tool that lets more people take part. Imagine just learning the craft. Imagine, hey, I don't know how to do editing, modeling, or animation and use this software. Imagine just learning it. Imagine how cool that would be to just learn it and then be good or even be okay at it. Like that's the whole point of people like going to learn these things, paying thousands and tens of thousands of dollars to go learn these things. That's wild. Exactly. If you have no skill in the competition and what's like, then you don't enter the competition, right? We are not trying to dismiss handmade work or disrespect creators. To us, AI is just another tool. What we truly care about is the idea, the expression, and the final work. No. Guys, the Super Bowl is too hard. So let's lower the barriers and just give the award to the AI team that wins in Madden. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Imagine there being two games, a real football game and a Madden football game. And they say, hey, either one of them can be the champions of the world. Either one of them can have the trophy. Either one. They're equal. They're just equal. That's just how it is. It's crazy. And then now they want people to vote. If there's anyone in the live chat that knows what the current standings are for that poll, I assume it's all get rid of the contest. But it was like get rid of the contest, change it to a non-AI contest, or keep AI and non-AI contests. I swear they changed that. It definitely was something else. 57% get rid, 35% change to non-AI, 8% keep AI, 8%. Why give the option? You know what I'm saying? Because it's clear what the community thinks. 15,000 votes is so much. And the first response under the poll is option 3's existence invalidates your entire post. Yes. Exactly right. That's exactly right. There's still a day left. Anyway, so that's... Party Animals was a really fun game. We actually did play it a lot. Unfortunately, I didn't play any of it on Steam. It was on Xbox, so I can't like if I put a review on it, it's a 0 hours played. Never loading that shit up again. That's crazy. I wonder if there's been any AI generated stuff put into the game since we last played it too. Anyway, that's it for the larger news. Let's go to the smaller news. And your Robinson VGC. There's going to be a sequel to Aliens Fireteam Elite. That's pretty cool. That game was really fun. It's officially getting a sequel this summer. Did it have a name? It's just Fireteam Elite 2. There's an announcement trailer. Announcement trailer for Fireteam Elite 2. Let's get some audio for this, if it lets me. This game was a lot of fun, the first one. All right, can we get like some actual... Are we gonna get gameplay? There we go. Oh, it looks so good, like visually. Dang. Oh my god. It's just fun to mow down a bunch of xenomorphs, you know? It's just something satisfying about that. Oh my god. This is pretty sick. Robots? Boring. Whoa, they're frozen. Give me xenomorphs. Give me milk blood androids. Whoa. Let's go. I think this will be fun. Hopefully it's not a crazy amount of money. Next up, a Europe-specific Unreal Engine? Huh? What does that mean? I don't know. Andrew Robinson, VGC. Guerrilla Games co-founder and Epic veteran building a European alternative to Unreal Engine. Arjan Brucey is an industry veteran who programmed Epic's Jazz Jackrabbit games in the 90s before co-founding and leading production at Guerrilla Games in 2003. After co-founding Cliff Bleszinski's now closed Boss Key, Brucey returned to Epic for an 8-year stint in roles including global director of product management for Unreal Engine. Unreal, yeah. Now back in Netherlands, as a free agent, Brucey claims he's building a new European game engine, the Immense Engine, which he says will offer a rare alternative to American and Chinese engines on the market. No one is currently making an engine that is fully European hosted, built by Europeans, and complies with European rules and guidelines. Creating usable 3D worlds is becoming increasingly important, certainly for purposes other than just gaming. So he sees an opportunity for a game engine based on new construction principles and with full integration of AI. Oh my god. The rise of AI means that we need to approach the development of this kind of crucial software differently. If you're smart and know how to put a good framework of AI agents to work, you can do the work of 10 or 15 people. Oh, so we're just outright saying, hey, we can replace humans in these jobs. You're just saying it. We're just saying it. Gross. Next up, yeah, a little base version of Game Pass with Discord Nitro. Pretty cool. Chris calling VGC. Discord Nitro now includes a starter edition of Xbox Game Pass with more than 50 games. That's a lot of games, actually. 50 is a lot. Starting today, which was the 11th, which was 4 days ago, Discord users who subscribe to the paid Discord Nitro membership will now gain access to a starter edition of Game Pass. This includes a library of more than 50 PC and console games, which players can download and play as part of their Nitro subscription. Includes access to cloud streaming. A cut-down version of Game Pass. This is limited to 10 hours per month. Interesting. They have a time limit on the cloud streaming for games. 10 hours per month is actually not a lot at all. That's actually not a lot at all. That's a wildly low amount. Did they say what games? Fallout 4, Stardew Valley, DayZ, Deep Rock Galactic, Overcooked 2, Grounded. Okay. That's not bad. It's weird that it doesn't work the other way around, because like there's plenty of people with Game Pass that don't have Nitro, so it should work the other way around too. You should get a base version. You should get the lowest form of Nitro if you already have Game Pass, especially if you have the higher tier versions. Why isn't it like that? That's so dumb. Anyway, next up. Sega's canceling one of their biggest games ever before it even comes out. Andy Robinson, VGC. Sega has canceled development of its Super game as it pivots away from live service games. I mean, that's cool that it's pivoting away from that. In its latest financial results, Sega quietly confirmed the cancellation of Super game in a slide detailing a review of its live service efforts. Weak performance of Sonic Rumble Party that came out. 2023 acquisition of Angry Birds. Oh, that's right. I forgot they bought the Angry Birds people. And I guess they did nothing with it. Over 100 developers who were working on free-to-play titles have already been transferred to full game development teams, focusing on mainstay IPs. Imagine instead of just laying people off, they just transfer them to different teams. That seems pretty cool. That's a good idea. Planned revivals. Sega claimed its Super Game project would span multiple AAA titles that cross over Sega's comprehensive range of technologies and go beyond the traditional framework of games. Wasn't there like a teaser or something for this that came out at some point? Let me check that. I feel like there was some sort of video about this. No, I could have swore they put out some sort of weird trailer about it, but I guess they didn't. Anyway, so that's canceled. Unfortunate. And maybe it was really cool. But live service, no thank you. But at least they're learning. Learning that live service isn't fully sustainable anymore. Next up, there was apparently a reboot of Knights of the Old Republic planned, and EA said no. Robert Perchese, Eurogamer. BioWare had a plan to reboot Star Wars The Old Republic and make it more KOTOR-like, but EA's board of directors shut it down. That... Former BioWare lead designer James Olin has revealed that there was once a plan to reboot the studio's massively multiplayer online role-playing game, Star Wars The Old Republic, and it would have made it more like 2003's single-player RPG, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, had the project been allowed to go ahead. Speaking to PC Gamer in a wide-ranging interview, Olin, who was lead designer on KOTOR as well as Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 and Dragon Age Origins, said he spent 6 months in 2015, 4 years after Star Wars The Old Republic was released, compiling a design he referred to as the New Republic. Olin described the project as a chance to do Star Wars SWTOR more like Knights of the Old Republic online. It was a chance to put right everything I'd said that we'd messed up. With the help of a mock-up trailer, Olin managed to convince a handful of key people that the New Republic was the right direction of SWTOR. He convinced then Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy about the idea, and now Lucasfilm president Dave Filoni. Filoni was reportedly so enthused that he said, if you set it up a couple hundred years before the fall of the Republic, we can have a tie-in. Whoa. Managed to convince apparent SWTOR hater Patrick Soderlund, the boss of EA Worldwide Studios, about the New Republic. I remember I got super excited because the big challenge was Patrick Soderlund, who I think is great but hates Star Wars The Old Republic. And I convinced him. It was one of the greatest accomplishments of my career. The only hurdle that remained, EA's board of directors. And sadly, the game's original eye-watering budget came back to thwart him. We were going to be able to have a Star Wars The New Republic until the board of directors of EA, who all remembered the launch of Star Wars The Old Republic and remembered spending $300 million. They're like, why the fuck are we going to spend a bunch more? Huh? The board said no, and the idea died. And so began Olin's discontent at the studio. That was the beginning of the end for me. He said he'd begun to feel like a completely useless person. Wow. Few more years working on Anthem, RIP. Many of the original KOTOR team exit BioWare in 2018 after 22 years working there. Old Republic experience online is agonizing for fans of BioWare's game and the KOTOR series. Flawed but beloved sequels developed by Obsidian. Love for the series can still be felt strongly now. Remember, whenever there's talk of the lost in development KOTOR remake, you can also feel it transferred into excitement for KOTOR's director Casey Hudson's new game, Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic, which sounds very much like the same thing. Intends to release the game before 2030. So this is the original trailer for this. I believe we saw this at one of the award shows or something recently. So it's super fun. But unfortunate that they basically had it ready to go and were shut down. Speaking of Fate of the Old Republic, Fran Ruiz, Eurogamer. Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic secures large investment as director Casey Hudson seems to reject the use of Gen AI. Hell yeah, if that's true. Flurry of activity, where does it say? Back down here. Already raised $100 million with $40 million already in the bank and funding commitments for roughly $60 million. Declined to comment on the investors. Casey Hudson said he really wanted to avoid having hundreds and hundreds of people. He added that the studios will use contractors instead, and it doesn't sound like he wants to use Gen AI at all. I just find AI to be creatively soulless. It's hard to imagine where it's actually helpful in the process. I'm just really unimpressed with it. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go talk about. So, hell yeah. This should be a really good game. Hopefully it actually comes out. I will cry. And last, for the smaller news, if you guys were interested or on the fence about a Steam controller, maybe this will help you decide. Apparently, if you drop the Steam controller, it screams. Chris calling VGC, the Steam controller has a hidden Easter egg. It screams if you drop it. Uses its haptic motors to recreate the Wilhelm scream. Let's check this out. That's actually so funny. You drop the controller, wake everybody up. That's actually a really great Easter egg. Now I think I also want this controller. Not gonna lie. Anyway, that's just a little fun little thing. little fun little thing. Let's get to some chat picks. Only a couple. All right, this is Mark DeCamp Game Rant. Nintendo sneakily confirms Legend of Zelda remake without saying anything. Ocarina of Time, by the way. For the last few weeks, rumors have been circulating about a remake of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and Nintendo may have unintentionally confirmed the game's existence ahead of an official announcement. Ocarina of Time was originally released in N64 back in 1998. One of those, best ones, whatever. When did they say it? Nintendo's plans for the second half of 2026 are a mystery at the moment. The company has 4 first-party games coming out between May and July, but the holiday season is a mystery. This year marks the 40th anniversary of Nintendo's Zelda franchise. Fans have been hoping for some kind of celebration. A remake of beloved Zelda game would probably make a lot of fans happy, should the rumors prove true. How did they confirm it? March, thanks to Nate the Hates. On his podcast, Leaker claimed that an Ocarina of Time remake is one of Nintendo's big games this year. During that discussion, mentioned that a summer release window of Splatoon Raiders and the new Star Fox game is in development, and they did confirm both Splatoon and Star Fox. So this guy seems to know. Maybe we'll see it. If that drops and it's like super high quality, well, it's gonna do some numbers. We might really have to get a Switch 2 in the next coming months. Next up, AI in Darkest Dungeon. This is Justin Wagner, PC Gamer. Darkest Dungeon Studio refuses AI generate deceased narrator's voice despite his permission. Hell yeah. I would never ever erode his incredible and timeless performances. Let's go. Best Dungeon Crawlers, period. Red Hook co-founder Chris Bourassa took to Reddit last week to clarify that it certainly won't be AI. Let's see. Wayne June passed away last year. Yep. In one of his last emails to me, Wayne gave us permission to train an AI on his voice, something he'd staunchly opposed prior to the end. We'd never asked to do it. I think he was trying to put the game team fans first, offer us a way forward. I declined, and we donated to his family anyway. I would never ever erode his incredible and timeless performances by teaching a machine to sound like him. His voice and delivery was human, and I'm forever grateful I got to write for him. Hell yeah. I love that. Because you would think like a smaller developer like this would just do it and not really say anything and try to fly under the radar, but they're outwardly saying, no, we refuse. And that's fucking awesome. Maybe they should release another game so I can give them money. And then lastly, Lies of P sequel. We should finish that game and the DLC. This is Fran Ruiz, Eurogamer again. As the Lies of P sequel enters full-scale development, developer Neowitz says it's working on another Souls-like and a narrative RPG. That's a lot. Company responds to reports of AI creator role, though. Interesting. Let's go look at that before we read the update. Original story about the stuff that they're working on. Okay, while looking at Neowitz's recent moves, we've also learned Round 8 Studio, the developer behind Lies of P, is looking to fill an AI creator role that can create concept drafts with tools like Stable Diffusion and Midjourney, and integrate AI software into existing art workflows to reduce production time and build an efficient AI art pipeline. What the fuck? Huh? And let's see the update. They've contacted Eurogamer to clarify the job listing for an AI creator and said the role based within an independent art R&D team at Round 8 will focus on creating AI-generated visuals to be used strictly as internal reference during pre-production. Full legal rights to assets and training is a full statement. The job posting in question is not a role that will be directly involved in the production of the Lies of P sequel. Instead, they will reside within an independent art R&D team at Round 8. Gen AI tools are only used in preliminary stage work to improve efficiency of repetitive foundational tasks. AI-generated visual function strictly as internal reference. This is just like, they're just trying to justify using Gen AI is what they're doing. They're trying to justify it. Gross. Throw up. Thankfully, this Lies of P game came out before all that Gen AI shit was like really starting up. So we can still play that game. That's fun. But anyway, that's it for news. We did it. Again, that ran a little bit longer than I expected. It was like a 45-minute recording, it looks like. But there wasn't that much news. So we got to see how much we can cut out of that. But thank you all for hanging out for news. Really appreciate it. But make sure, check out the links in the chat. YouTube, Twitter, Discord, TikTok. I'm going to try again for real this time to have this up by tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Sunday. I'm going to try to edit this tomorrow, have it up by Sunday. And I'm going to put the right like release time timer on it and not forget to do that like last time. But check out the links, like I said. Hit the buttons under the video, or just, you know, whatever. Who cares? Thanks everyone for hanging out during news, and I'll see you guys next time.